One of the questions that I'm often asked is, will artificial intelligence take our jobs? And this always puts me in a difficult position. You see, regardless of whether or not we embrace AI, change is inevitable. It marks the natural progression of human potential. Now, historically, change has been met with resistance, loss of control, excess uncertainty, concerns of competence, and fears of redundancy. But it's also demonstrated that it creates new opportunity. In fact, analysts proved that industry significantly grew thanks to the adoption of computers and automation. This was because it enabled the workforce to focus on other business goals and thus increased productivity, elevated profits, and increased labor demand. Again, to understand where we are, we need to look back to where we've been. Go back a couple of hundred years to the 18th century as Britain began the Industrial Revolution. At the time, the change caused uncertainty. Papers printed headlines such as, "The March of the Machine Makes Idle Hands." But what we actually see was an explosion in economic growth. We see shifts from agricultural communities to new urban societies. It changed how, when, and where people worked. It inspired innovation, accelerated production, created competition, improved processes, and all whilst reducing the influences of borders. In short, it made humanity step up its game, and we're enjoying the benefits even today. Think about it, even something as mundane as doing your weekly shop. Can you imagine a time where supermarkets didn't exist? You couldn't just go to one superstore and purchase everything that you needed because nothing was mass produced. What's more, even if it was, where would you store it? We didn't have the electricity to preserve it. The fact is, almost everything that we use, consume, wear, and take for granted today is a byproduct of the Industrial Revolution. By embracing the change, we've reaped the rewards. So let's look forward and try to understand the world of the fourth Industrial Revolution, a revolution that will be driven by automation, analytics, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things. For many, it's history repeating itself. Change brings uncertainty, but this time it brings with it scale, scope, and complexity. We now understand that many young children will potentially work in jobs that don't currently exist, amplified by demand from social media, digital publications, and e-commerce. We could already see this happening. I roll my eyes at my son as he spends hours watching digital influencers on his Surface. Teenagers being paid thousands of pounds to talk about a game, product, service, or routine. These are jobs that simply didn't exist 15 years ago, but the status quo today. Now, that's not to say that there won't be casualties. In fact, the researchers at Oxford University published an article way back in 2013 indicating the jobs that will most likely be replaced with automation. This includes telemarketing, insurance underwriters, data entry workers, and similar positions. And we're already seeing this. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's had their fair share of cold calls from automated call centers asking me to confirm if I've been involved in a car accident or missold an insurance policy. These companies simply act as brokers to generate leads that are then sold on to the firms who offer you the service provided in the message. But even when jobs are not totally replaced, artificial intelligence has the potential to disrupt. I'm sure we've all ordered something from Amazon. But did you ever think about how your order is handled? Today, it's a cohesive workforce of man and machine that enable Amazon to expedite its fulfillment processes and make it same-day delivery. What's more, this could now be very well delivered by machine. Services such as Prime Air have the capacity to deliver smaller packages in less than 30 minutes by using drones. From click to consume in this timescale simply couldn't be achieved without the integration of advanced AI and automation processes. Legal environments use e-discovery software to help identify, collect, and produce electronically stored information. This includes emails, documents, presentations, databases, voicemail audio, video, social media, and websites for criminal proceedings. Hospitals use machine learning to help doctors diagnose illnesses more quickly. In fact, artificial intelligence is now more accurate at diagnosing breast cancer from mammograms than its human counterparts. And this can cause anxiety. Do patients want machines diagnosing them? I would argue that they probably don't. But this collective approach will speed up the process, with AI detecting the anomalies in a matter of seconds, then flagging the results to a human that makes the final call. This will make the screening more accurate, produce better outcomes, and ultimately serve to reduce the stress of the patient. If we look at education, teachers are now able to assess student learning more accurately. In fact, with the recent outbreak of the coronavirus, the expedited delivery of homeschooling has meant that new tools such as the immersive reader have been employed to ensure that all students have an equal opportunity to maximize learning potential. But as I mentioned before, while artificial intelligence will change some jobs, they're not likely to disappear completely. There are aspects of work that simply cannot be automated. These are the jobs that will require unique human skills, creativity, collaboration, abstraction, and complex communication. What's more, researchers believe that certain jobs will remain relatively immune. These include services such as therapists, choreographers, nutritionists, surgeons, dentists, personal trainers, scientists, teachers, designers, and first-line workers. So where does this leave us? Now, I can't tell you what new jobs will emerge, but what I can say is that historically, people have adapted to the world around them, and I'm confident that this will be exactly the same this time around. We also know that these jobs will be based on technology. Banks will need network engineers, retailers will need web programmers, farmers will need data analysts, and demands for data, AI, and robotic engineers will increase significantly. This means that it is our responsibility to ensure that we train and nurture the workforce of tomorrow. We must unite to ensure that we cover the science, technology, engineering, and math shortages to cope with the fast-paced nature of technological change. We need to improve the careers advice that's provided. We need to remove stereotypes and encourage more women into the field. We need to address the funding of our schools to ensure that STEM-focused training is embedded into our curriculums. And we need to train our educational providers to deliver this new content. By addressing these gaps, we are future-proofing our commitment to technology adoption, addressing the current skills shortages, and preparing ourselves for the expected demands of the future. Now is the time to act. Governments, businesses, and education providers have a responsibility to create a sustainable skills pipeline and build an innovation-ready workforce. Thank you.